This video is brought to you with some promotion of Sakuraco, more on them in a little bit. I love Japan, the food, the hospitality, the culture, whatever this is. But there's one thing from the country that left me a little disappointed, and that is Japan Airlines Business Class. I flew them on an overnight red-eye from Singapore Changi Airport to Tokyo Haneda. Let me show you why. So before we get started, I just wanted to say a couple of caveats. A flight from Singapore to Tokyo is very similar to a flight that somebody might take between London and New York. It's a very similar flight length, and on an overnight flight, you're generally gonna go for sleep. I actually did a written article about this for Turning Left for Less, and I had a number of people attacking me because I didn't eat the food. This review is purely on the experience of the service that I received, and then also the seat experience itself. So it's going to be a slightly shorter video than usual, but it will be able to give you a good idea of what the hard product and what some of the amenities are like on this flight. So please don't attack me if you disagree with my thoughts, and I'll say a bit more at the end of my concluding thoughts. Welcome to Singapore Changi Airport, where I'm just about to head to the gate. I was actually spending quite a lot of time on the airside area of this airport, testing out all the excellent One World lounges, and I actually did a full comparison of each of the lounges in an article you can see just up there. This flight today was flying from Singapore Changi to Tokyo Haneda on Japan Airlines 36. This flight itself will be operated by a Boeing 787 Dreamliner in one of their older configurations. We were warmly welcomed on board by the staff, who bowed to every passenger as they got on and directed us across to our seat. Papers were available in the galley upon boarding, although they weren't proactively offered to the passengers. This flight was serviced by the Sky Suite Free product, which is only on the 787-9, but you can also expect to see within Asia flights operated by the Sky Suite Original, which is the excellent Apex product, which you can find on Gulf Air, which you can watch just up there, and then also the Sky Suite 2. And then you've also got a couple of others which are primarily found on domestic routes, such as the Shell Flat Neo and the Skylux seat. And then most recently, you can also find on some of their long-haul routes to London and some destinations in the US, the A350-1000 product, which is an enclosed suite. But this is probably the most standard one you will see on JAL's routes, and it's quite disappointing. The biggest thing I noticed at first upon boarding was the temperature of this cabin. It was just way too hot. Now I get that on this flight was around January time, and Japan in January isn't the warmest place, but we were departing from Singapore where it was quite mild. And here is that seat, clad in a bit of burgundy and lots of cream colours. It's not too bad on the eye. Straight ahead, there's a 17-inch touchscreen display, but it's actually quite a decent size. To the right, there's a storage area, international power outlet, USB ports, and headphone jack. To the left, there's a touchscreen remote control, which is the best way of interacting with the system. And beneath that, there is all the seat controls. While it's not groundbreaking, it does a job and allows you to adjust the seat to your comfort level. And then looking in that storage area, there's not really much room. There is a mirror there if you want to use it, and a little hook for your headphones, which they may put there sometimes. And then the tray table is actually rather large and very sturdy, which is not always the case on every airline. And it does allow you access in and out of the seat while eating, which is always welcome. You do need to have a quick loo break. Heading across to the bathroom now, and it's quite a spacious affair, pretty standard. Few amenities available in there, such as toothbrush, toothpaste, and of course it wouldn't be a Japanese airline without electronic bidet function in the toilet, something I absolutely think is amazing. More amenities are at the seat. This pouch is actually a really nice amenity kit. Probably too much plastic, but I mean, we're flying in a plane, so can't really complain too much about pollution. But the bag itself is really reusable. I use it for my headphones now, and just a really nice kit all around. I really love them gentle steam eye masks because they just really make you feel comfortable. So much so, every time I've visited Japan since, I bought even more, and a very comfy pair of slippers there. And now let's take a quick look at that entertainment system. We've got an interactive in-flight map, which is decent, not the most responsive, but at least allows you to move around and see where your route is going. But as I mentioned, the best way to interact with this system is probably via the remote control, and frankly, it's not great. It reminds me a lot of Windows XP in its design. It's called Magic 6, and it's just not the best design. There is a fair amount of content on here that you enjoy. The actual responsiveness of the display on this remote was not great. I didn't watch much on this flight, but this gives you a good chance to see what is available on there. Perhaps my remote could have just been playing up a little bit, and before time we were ready to take off with this wonderfully simple safety video, something I think many airlines should consider doing nowadays in the world where we have these overly fancy safety videos which really serve not much purpose at all. We departed Singapore on time, thankfully so, because I had a connecting flight in Haneda and we were ready to get going. One thing I forgot to show you earlier, here is the literature pocket. So many items here to look through, magazine, in-flight shopping, something that you really don't get so much nowadays on Western airlines. Really nice to see.
These guys have been obsessing over Hokkaido milk for well, since Nara Park basically.
Before I came to Japan, I wondered how can Hokkaido milk be so special,
or just
so
branding,
good.
yeah.
You just think, it's just like Basildon milk.
Oh.
Perhaps you're a little like me and you enjoy a taste of Japan, but sometimes you just don't know quite what to try. Well, Sakuraco can help you out. Sakuraco is a monthly subscription service that delivers traditional Japanese snacks, teas, and goodies straight to your door. You get one of these excellent Sakuraco goodie boxes once a month for a flat fee. The box is then delivered to your door direct from Japan every single month, and you can enjoy everything they have to offer. Sakuraco were generous enough to let me try it back in December when I tried a taste of Hokkaido. That's actually really good because I love Hokkaido milk products. When I was in Japan, I tried Hokkaido milk ice cream and I loved it. Now, unfortunately, they haven't quite solved the technology to get ice cream from Hokkaido to my door. If you want to get a taste of Japan to your door, be sure to use my link down below. And now back to the video. And now you're probably thinking, is that all you've got to show me? And yes, it is. That's all the footage I took on this flight. So let me tell you a bit about how this flight actually went. I noted about the temperature as I boarded, and that temperature did not come down at all. I wanted to focus on getting a good amount of sleep for my upcoming ANA flight, which I really wanted to stay awake from. There lots of footage, probably a maximum of 2 hours of very light sleep. And the seat itself was uncomfortable. I really found it very constricting, not much capability to move around, particularly with that cubby hole. It was just very narrow as a seat. And all round, that made for a very bad sleeping experience on an airline which is famed for having an excellent product. Really good bedding, a nice pillow and blanket, but that is just not necessary with the heat of this cabin. I ended up using it as something to lay on instead. And considering this is quite a flagship business traveler route between two major business destinations, it's just a rather poor experience. A lot of people will complain at me for not sampling the food and for not interacting more with the crew, but this is going to be very representative of people who fly this route, how they would service it. They would get their food at the lounge at the airport, and then they would sleep on board to maximize their working hours in Tokyo. The seat, I think, is not great. And I would prefer to have flown on, say, Singapore Airlines Business Class on this kind of route. If I had the choice between the two, I would choose that. I think separately, I would say that while the seat itself is disappointing, I would not write off JAL or Japan Airlines. Yep, the seat could be better, the entertainment system could be a lot better. The overall experience, I cannot accurately judge upon, and I'm not going to be so prescriptive about saying that this is a bad experience because I haven't sampled every single element. So I've actually got a couple of flights on JAL over the coming year where I can actually get a more holistic whole view of the experience. One of those will be in premium economy in around March time on a regional flight between Japan and the Philippines, and then also doing the same route again in business class later in the year, so I can get a good idea of whether this is a good view of JAL or whether it's actually an outlier. That being said, it doesn't change the hard product. The hard product is still bad. JAL don't actually only just use this seat on regional routes to places like Singapore. They actually use them on some of their long haul flights as well, which is where I would probably say I'd be very disappointed to fly this. The seat is just not really up to par with what other alternatives you have, not mentioning some of the ANA products that are there, albeit not every aircraft they have is served with the room and the suite. Qatar Airways, if you don't mind connecting, likewise with Cathay. Even BA, if they're offering Club Suite on a route where JAL offer the Sky Suite product, it's just not competitive. JAL just really need to up their game with some of these products, and I hope we see them improve it in the future, but considering the inconsistencies across all their fleets, I highly suspect they won't be doing that, which is unfortunate because I've heard a lot of good things about the rest of the JAL offering. Do let me know what you thought of this very slightly different video today. My thoughts are that Japan Airlines didn't leave me the best impression, but maybe you think differently compared to others. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to see what my onward flight on ANA is like, that will be out very soon, and I can't wait for you to see it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you very soon.